topics that is gonna be coming up on your tours. For some of you that you've been shadowing, this might have been a question that families or prospective students have been asking, but also during orientation. So we want to make sure that you feel comfortable with this topic and know what are some things that you would be able to discuss with them if it does come up during your tour. So say for example, and you guys feel free to jump in on this. So, you know, say for example a family asks about how safe is your campus. What is something that you would talk about? So raise your hand up. Yeah,
the Aztec Shield app, that's something that they really, because I call parents and that's something that they are really happy about, that we do have this new app that they can see where their child's are. They can get a police escort from their late night class from like 7 p.m. or when they get out of class at night, 10 o'clock, and that they're home and safe. So that's something that they really feel safe about talking about the Aztec Shield app.
Yeah, especially with your generation, and even people my age, texting is so easy that you can now just text a crime, and that's a really easy way for you to do that. So I think, yeah, the Aztec Shield is definitely something that I would discuss with parent or student, and just letting them know that this is something. So what else? What else? Stephanie?
I would say how we have our own police department on campus. So that's
yeah, so not every college campus has their own police department. We have it right here on campus. And they have jurisdiction, they're actual cops. It's not like some schools may have like a public safety kind of department, but it is an actual police department and have jurisdiction over California. So, yep, what else? Natalie?
Definitely the escort system. I know parents and students really like that. Because I know my mom still to this day doesn't like me walking back home from the library really late at night. So it's nice mentioning the escort system. It seems like that relieves a lot of fears.
Yep, and then one of the things that we do during orientation, you might remember, is we actually have students take out their cell phones during one of the presentations and put in I believe it's a non-emergency phone number, but also the escort service number. So everyone technically who comes to orientation should have that number programmed into their cell phone. So that's another way of kind of talking about this with their parents, is that at orientation you're going to have everyone take out their cell phone, and so everyone has the numbers to call the escort services. That's something that they need. Eunice?
Yeah, just want to put my 2 cents in there. But I feel like a lot of times people get nervous when you're asked about safety. So a lot of the times what you tend to do is you're like, oh, it's super safe here, you get all happy about it. Because, yeah, but be truthful, be genuine. So basically, don't answer it like that. Be like, actually, we are a public university, so anyone can come on and off campus. But some of the things that our police department does is the SHIELD app, the emergency pool, so then you can talk about those resources. So just be aware of when you get asked that, because, it can be a little nerve-wracking because it is a serious subject and important to parents. So I just have noticed that, and being part of this and going out on tours, that when you're asked that, you get nervous and you go oh yeah, we're super safe here. It sounds not real to me, right? So you want to be genuine and just, well, we are a public university, but however, we do have our campus police. These are some of the things that they're doing. So that's how you should maybe approach the answer.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, Kat, and then Angela.
I also point out the blue light poles while I'm on tour, and you can even kind of make it a little game. They can count how many blue light poles you see while you're on tour.
Yeah, that's another great way of doing that. Yep, those blue lights. Angela?
I just kind of wanted to go off what Eunice was saying about making sure you approach it correctly. This will be something you will be asked a lot about during orientation. We have what's called a parent panel. And in my parent panel last summer, one of the dads asked me what was crime like on campus. And so I started going into all our resources. And then he told me that his car had actually gotten broken into that morning in our structures. So you have to make sure you do address that, yes, of course, it's an open campus. Anything can happen anywhere. But we have all these great things implemented so that if it does happen, or if something does occur on our campus, we are able to respond to it faster. We can make sure that we have the resources to help prevent it for the next time.
Yeah, I still remember that from summer orientation.
Oh, man.
That was fun, right? Yeah, I was in that panel too. So yeah, Yeah, so things are gonna come up, even at orientation, where you're gonna be like, oh, yeah, what do I need to say? But, you know, you'll have the training, you've gone through a year of training, and by that time, you'll know how to answer some of those questions and those tough situations. And I know they did a great job, handling that. And then there was something else that I was gonna say, and, you know, we also talked about just using that common sense, right? Like when you're, you know, maybe studying late in the library, making sure that you are walking in groups. So the same thing we would tell students. One of the things that we used to say when I worked in the residence hall is it's, you know, we definitely have policies and rules that we have in place, you know, to make our campus safe, but it's only going to be as safe as students make it, right? So if they end up bringing a guest that they just met that night, or just, you know, trying to bring someone in, sneak them in, those are just going to be some other ways that, you know, our safety is going to be put in jeopardy. So those are some things to think about as well. Yeah, Alexis?
You can mention like the crime alerts that when you're coming up on campus, like, I don't know if it's like you get to sign up for it, but like for the students get an email of like what happened, when it happened, where, and like the description of the people who did it.
Yes, so that's another great point. So yeah, those crime alerts that go out, and students can get signed up for that, and as well as parents. So parents can also know what are some things that are going on, you know, on our campus if something like that does happen. So that's also something that we discuss. Yeah, these are all great. Yeah, Stephanie?
I would mention how the residence halls, like how not anyone can just walk into the residence halls. At other schools, you could seriously just walk anyone into the residence halls, where here you have to sign people in, so you always know who's in the building.
Yeah, exactly. That's another great point. So a lot of our first year students and soon our sophomores are going to be living on campus. So, you know, some of those areas are going to have that 24/7 safety desk. Kiara?
That's exactly what
Yeah.
I was gonna say. Like,
Okay.
almost sort of-
You're all on the same wavelength? Cool. One more over here.
I think another thing is the shuttle that runs from the library to like anywhere. I know I didn't know about that till I started here, so, and I've utilized it a lot, so.
I think the 24/7 area has a shuttle that will take you. So that's another great point. So yeah, see, there's a lot of different things that our campus does already to make sure that the safety of our students is maintained. But again, you know, we are a public university. We don't have a gate around us to keep people off. But you know, those are all great things to talk about and to keep in mind if those things do come up. Anything else from TIs in the back? Anything to add to that discussion? For a tour maybe, or anything like that? No?
Straight up, but like, it's already what's been said, you'll know how to answer it when it comes time to say something.
Well, one more thing also in
Yeah.
the University Police Department section is the mentioning that we're a smoke-free campus.
Yep.
Sometimes mentioning that can get kind of awkward just because you don't know how other people view smoking and stuff like that. So just kind of always being aware and not being kind of afraid or shy to mention that we are a smoke-free campus. I feel like that's definitely important to mention also.
Angela?
Go ahead, Angela.
Just off of John, since he said it's kind of awkward, so if you're going the forward route, on the little fence next to Vieja surrounding it, there's like a million no smoking signs. So if that kind of helps you with the easier way into it, make it a little less awkward, you're like, oh, as you can see, we're no smoking campus, that kind of thing. And be like, I always say like, I'm really proud of this fact, so that kind of helps you ease into it.
Yeah.
That's a great way of
Also,
saying it.
sorry, speaking of segues, like another good way to segue into the University Police Station is like right when you're saying that, you're passing one of the emergency dress phones, so you could say like, oh, like you'll see that we have an emergency dress phone. Speaking of which, we have like an on-campus police station, something like that.
Thank you.
Oh,
Kiara?
I've noticed just like walking around campus and also on tour, like at the top of the Scripps Hill, a lot of like the foreign exchange students smoke right there. So it's kind of hard. Like I was on like a backwards tour, and, you know, we talked about like, oh yeah, like we're not smoking campus, and then walked by Scripps Cottage, and it like reeked of smoke. So it was kind of awkward. Like I don't know how we could address that or if we can, but that was a little awkward.
Yeah, and you know, people are going to choose to break that policy. You know, it is something that our university has upholds, and also, you know, they can, I guess, be sanctioned for it too. But you know, it's something that I don't know how policing, I guess as a staff member, as a student, I don't know. Besides going up to them, hey, just letting them know that it's a smoke-free campus, and hopefully after that they can, you know, get the hint.
times where you said we don't allow skateboards on our campus, and then someone would go right behind you and ride on a skateboard. So like you kind of just have to say like it's something we really push for and implement, but obviously these students still know and they like go against it anyways, and that's their personal choice. They're risking getting a ticket.
And those tickets are not cheap. I think for skateboarding, it's a couple $100, so. They're allowed, yeah. Alright, was there another hand up here? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and transition. So, we have a couple of